the beach is completely covered in water right now. And as Ida continues to rage on, that push of water, that push of surge comes in more and more.
All of southeast Louisiana right now is without power. All 8 major transmission lines going into the New Orleans area failed. And I will tell you, daylight is going to bring some just horrific imagery from southeast Louisiana with the devastation that we know was caused by Hurricane Ida.
Hello, America. New Orleans looks very different than it did, say, 12 hours ago. I'm meteorologist Reynolds Wolf, coming to you from the Big Easy, and right at the corner of Decatur and Toulouse, you see damage. And unfortunately, there is a lot of it here in the city. Full story of what to expect as we roll forward and about the widespread power outages affecting so many people. That's coming up moments away.
Wow, looks like part of a roof came off there. All right, thank you, Reynolds. We'll be back to Reynolds in just a moment. Let's update you on what we know right now. New Orleans officials are asking people not to return home yet because, as you just saw there, dangerous conditions and stressed emergency services. President Biden has approved the Louisiana governor's request for a major disaster declaration, which will send federal aid to the state. And more than 1 million customers are still without power in Louisiana, and more than 100,000 are without power in Mississippi. So, Carl, as we just saw there, looks like some of the roof came off there down in the French Quarter. We've seen roofs come off all over there in southern Louisiana. Just a testament to the power of that hurricane.
Yeah, and a little bit of a right turn right at the very last there. That was a little bit of a deviation from the forecast track. You know, the forecast was amazing. The track forecast and the intensity forecast, very, very good. But there was a slight deviation at the very last, and that brought some of that really strong wind a little bit more into New Orleans. And we want to show you some time-lapse footage taken in Houma, Louisiana. This is southwest of New Orleans in Terrebonne Parish. Our stringer tells us the camera was positioned on the Barrow Street Bridge, 10 feet above the ground, and you can really see the power of the wind here. We're going to take a look at some of the top wind gusts in just a moment, and you know, they're just outrageous. They're just unbelievably strong in some parts of southern Louisiana. So we do have a new advisory on the storm right now. It is a 40-mile-per-hour tropical storm and moving towards the northeast at 9 miles per hour. There are ongoing threats in flash flooding and also severe weather. There's a tornado warning now ongoing for Baldwin and Clark counties in mostly rural areas here. As we look at this area of circulation, it is finally now beginning to broaden out some. It's not nearly as tight as it once was, but let's just be on the safe side and track that forward. Again, it's in a very rural area near the Mobile River, so it looks like it's not posing as much of a threat right now. But I want you to notice that little feature right there, and we'll step this back in time, and you notice this green area showing up crossing the Mobile River. So right there, that is a tornado. There was absolutely a tornado crossing the Mobile River, and again, in a largely rural area, so hopefully it didn't cause any damage, but certainly there was tree debris that was being lofted into the air by the storm, and that's showing up just really, really well with that tight circulation associated with the storm. So we could see many more tornado warnings going through the afternoon. There's a tornado watch in effect for parts of Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida until 4 o'clock this afternoon. Now, let's turn the clock back and take a look at this storm, which after it made landfall was still over intertidal areas, very warm water that was driven in by the surge across these marshy areas. And so the structure of the storm changed very, very little on satellite. It was such a powerful storm. And look at the wind gusts that we saw yesterday. I mean, this is just amazing. And this was a reliable measurement there, 172 miles per hour. That is incredible. Leeville gusting to 153, Golden Meadow gusting to 125 miles per hour. And we've seen some of the video from those areas, and the damage certainly does look like tornado damage. So we've got a much less powerful storm right now, circulation right here, and then you've got this deeper area of convection off to the east, and with that, the severe potential and also the stronger winds. And you notice here winds still gusting to 36 miles per hour in Mobile, gusting to 32 in Biloxi, and then nearer the center as well, well, seeing some stronger wind. Meridian now gusting to 36 miles per hour. So we'll continue to see that kind of thing. And with the onshore flow, we've still got some storm surge to talk about in some areas of the northern Gulf Coast. All right, let's get out to Reynolds Wolf. He's been reporting on the storm in New Orleans. And Reynolds, it's pretty amazing. At the peak of this storm, the entire city was without power. Is that still the case, or are we seeing some pockets getting power back?
I have not heard of any pockets of restoration as of yet. I've heard though that it could take, say, days, more likely a week, if not longer. I mean, it's a major endeavor. You think about this whole metropolitan area without power at this hour, and the only thing that is giving some power is solely on generators. So it's a difficult thing. Got to tell you, we had about 12 hours of darkness when the height of the storm really started coming through around 6:30 or so, and then until 6 o'clock in the morning or until sunrise, the city was thrust in darkness. And with the darkness, I got to tell you, the sound is just deafening when these tropical systems rattle on through. So you could hear things breaking, you could hear things shattering, and not know what was going on. Well, when the sun came up, the revelations came with it, and this is one of many that we have scattered around the city. In fact, it's hard to find a place that is left unscathed of this tropical system. But you think about it, the fury that came through here and caused this damage. So the only music that we have now is playing from this cart right here that's going right by. But last night it was the scream of the wind and the rain and all that came with it, and now it's going to be also joining in the fray. Another chorus is going to be the sound of blowers, of chainsaws clearing out the roadways. Earlier we were over in the Garden District, such a beautiful area of New Orleans with those towering trees that have been around for more than a century. Although many of the trees are in pretty good shape, there are some that fell. When they fall, they bring down everything around them. It can bring down part of a house, it can bring down wires of all kinds. One of the reasons for the electrical issues that we have, and that's part of the big story that we have, is the cleanup. Before you can have that ability of leaning over and turning on the switch on your light, first you've got to think about the major transformer where there's 8 sources that spilled into the Mississippi River last night, knocked over because of all that wind. But then on top of that, you've got to clear out those roadways. Then those crews from all over America have got to get out there and do that work, the bucket work of putting those cables up from one point of the map to the other. It's a long way to go, Justin, no doubt about it. Justin, what a narrative you have given of what's happened in Gulfport, Mississippi. Earlier, Tevin was talking to the mayor, and it was great to hear the mayor recognizing that there was a ways to go, but also an undercurrent of optimism. And that undercurrent of optimism is a great and refreshing thing, no doubt. We need it.
No, absolutely. You know, it's amazing just how close we are to New Orleans, but how much better, Reynolds, things are here in Gulfport. So earlier today, there were as many as 20 roads that were either water covered or closed down because of dangers. They're slowly but surely opening those up. And we also know here in Gulfport, the curfew that was in place, a 24-hour-a-day curfew, was lifted at noon local time. So Gulfport is cleaning up. In fact, take a look at some video here we shot earlier today on Highway 90. That's kind of a main thoroughfare right along the Gulf of Mexico, leading eastward to Biloxi and points beyond, leading westward into Waveland and even Bay St. Louis. And you can see how sand covered it is. And what that is indicative of is the storm surge flooding that happened as Ida was coming ashore. And we were on the eastern side of that enormous Category 4 storm at the time. All of that Gulf of Mexico coming onshore and filling the entire roadway and much of the downtown area here with sand as that storm surge was coming through. Certainly a messy situation. So they're going through with front-end loaders. Municipal crews are going through with those dump trucks, and they are just filling them up one at a time with sand. Where they're depositing it, I have not been able to get a quick answer on that. I tend to think it's probably going to be going back out into the beaches here. As soon as I find out, I'll let you know if you're that curious. But still, getting that roadway open and fully accessible to all traffic is what the goal is right now. Now, we do know Billy Hughes, the mayor here in Gulfport, Mississippi, he's going to be on a call, 1:30 local time this afternoon, with the president It's a conference call with local mayors, governors, and other officials to get an idea of what kind of federal resources there are. We know in Louisiana that federal emergency declaration was issued. That is a good thing for the people there. As far as Mississippi, we're going to learn more about the federal assistance, if any, coming here. But the good news is it seems like Gulfport, Mississippi has fared fairly well. Now, let me step out of the way so you can see the marina behind me. This is the Gulfport Municipal Marina. You can still see, for the most part, no boats out there. And the ones that are still there were left during the storm. They seem to have fared pretty well, but I can tell you each and every single one of them was fined because there was a mandatory boat evacuation from this marina because of the dangers that present when a boat stays in a harbor like this. If the storm surge would have broken them from their lines and they would have gone into shore, they certainly can cause major and oftentimes deadly problems as people were going by. You never know where those boats are going to go in the storm surge flooding, and they can oftentimes cause major problems. Jeff, so good news here in Gulfport. Things are slowly but surely getting back to normal, and people here are counting their blessings today because as Ida went through, Jeff, not many people in Mississippi lost power last night. Of course, most of the people just to our west in Louisiana.
All right, thank you very much, Justin. So faring a lot better there, particularly when you think about what happened back in Katrina. Even a well-built roof, though, may not last through a Category 4 hurricane like Ida. You're looking at images from Matthews, Louisiana. This was southwest of New Orleans. And you can see roofs peeling off several buildings here and flying away, even some of the metal roofs. And just a reminder, folks, you don't want to be outside. Something like that is flying through the air. If you get hit by something like that, well, it's lights out. No pun intended. All right, let's go over to Carl. We still have the threat of severe weather. Maybe not sustained winds like that, but as you just mentioned last hour, we've had isolated tornadoes already.
Yeah, we definitely had a tornado here in Alabama, and there's also this ongoing flash flood threat. So I wanted to tell you about that very quickly. A new flash flood emergency in effect in southern parts of Mississippi. This is for Harrison and Jackson counties. And so law enforcement reporting that life-threatening flash flooding is ongoing here. You see the rain has moved out for the most part. There's still some lingering showers, but that steady, heavy rain has moved out. But the damage has been done here. You look at the rain over the last 12 hours, we've had about 5 to 10 inches of rain. If you extend the period, you go out to about 18 hours. So it's been really, really bad there in those areas, and be very careful indeed. Now, to the north, I've got a couple of tornado warnings and a new tornado warning now for Clark County. So that's an extension of the one that we've been following here. Observed tornado here. And let's take a look at the velocity data. So we're still seeing this area of circulation showing up right in there. And that is now moving to the north at 20 miles per hour. So as that continues off to the north, that is going to move towards Choctaw Bluff at 1:32. So coming up here in another, let's say, 20 minutes or so. Alma, 1:49. Walker Springs at 2:03. And then Suggsville at 2:17. Possible tornado coming your way. And we've seen that there has actually been a tornado with this storm. There's been debris being lofted into the air. We can detect that on radar. And so that's absolutely been in place. In fact, I'm going to just catch up with this new radar scan here. And there again, you see the times updated a little bit as it's a little bit ahead of what we were talking about moments ago. So ongoing tornado threat here across parts of the southeast. One thing that's helping to drive this is that we are now seeing this drier air beginning to punch up and on the underside of the system. And what that does is it clears things out. And so it increases the instability showing up there in yellow and orange colors. And in addition to that, we've also got low level wind shear where winds are coming out of different directions at different heights in the atmosphere. So all of these things lend themselves to more spin in the atmosphere. And then when you have more instability, you can get taller thunderstorms that can sort of cinch up that spin. And the result is that we've got this tornado threat that's going to continue through the afternoon, parts of Alabama and Mississippi, and also northwest Florida going until 4 o'clock, Jeff. But again, the other huge threat that we're watching is that flash flood threat. That's going to be going on around for a while.
As you just mentioned, a new flash flood emergency down there in southern Mississippi. I'll tell you what, as if the wind and storm surge wasn't bad enough, as Carl mentioned, Ida is still dumping a lot of rain across parts of the South, an area already saturated by a lot of summer storms. On Sunday alone, New Orleans received nearly 5 inches of rain, which adds up to 70 inches so far for the year, 2 feet. Yeah, that's right, 2 feet above average. 2021 is now the second wettest year to date in New Orleans, and there's still 4 months to go. Yeah, they'll be adding to that for sure. If you were watching Jim Cantore last night, you know how hard it was raining where he was. Most of it was going sideways. All right, let's talk a little bit more about that flood threat. And again, look at all the rain, all those bright colors that you see there, yellows, oranges, pinks, whites. We're getting up into the 18 to 20 inch count there over toward La Place on the western end of Lake Pontchartrain. That added to all the water from Pontchartrain getting pushed in there. Now it's these fire hoses, if you will, these two main channels of rain that are pushing on up into Alabama, and they are like fire hoses. They're basically throwing all this tropical moisture up across the Florida Panhandle and right up the Mobile Bay and on up into central Alabama. No surprise that flash flooding is likely in those areas and maybe even backing over into parts of northeast Mississippi. And then it looks like it'll probably push on up into Tennessee overnight tonight and on into the day tomorrow, maybe clipping North Georgia, parts of Kentucky, West Virginia, and points northeast. And we'll talk more about that flood threat coming up here a little bit later this hour. Right now, not a lot of rivers are in flood stage, but I got to tell you, it takes a little while for the water to run off into some of these major rivers. And so we think that a lot of them will be in flood stage, maybe major flood stage, as we head through the next several days and even weeks. Stay with us. The latest on Ida continues.
There are times I wonder, why can't I wear white after Labor Day?
Something on your mind? Chew on it. Twizzlers.
Yo, I need me some of these, bro. Trends come and go. Nacho cheese is forever. Yeah. Doritos, another level.
Hi, folks. Joe Namath here with a new message about your Medicare benefits. You may be entitled to transportation, meals, and expanded coverage for dental work that includes extractions, fillings, and dentures, all at no additional cost. Plus, depending on your zip code, you may be entitled to the Medicare benefit that adds money to your Social Security check every single month. Call and get everything you deserve. Call now. It's free.
I'm on a fixed income, so I called to get money added to my Social Security check. They helped me so much.
I called to save money on copays, get prescriptions, transportation, and my dental work covered. I couldn't believe I was spending money I don't have to spend.
Millions of people have trusted the Medicare Coverage Helpline, and you can too. Call now. It's free.
Call 1-800-346-4800. That's 1-800-346-4800 now.
Here's important information for anyone with an annuity or structured settlement. It's your right to sell all or part of your annuity payments for the cash you need now. Whether you need to make an important purchase, pay off debt, or build a business, call the pros at Peachtree today. We can help you get the cash you need. We're professionals at buying structured settlements.
Hi, I'm Maggie from Peachtree. We've been helping people for over 20 years. We can help you turn your settlement or annuity payments into the cash you need for a new car, housing, or to manage debt. Recently, I helped a customer get money for fertility treatments to start a family. It's your money, and you have the right to use it now.
Get your money faster by calling Peachtree now at 1-800-PEACHTREE. That's 1-800-PEACHTREE. Call today for a no-obligation quote and receive $25. Call now at 1-800-PEACHTREE or visit PeachtreeFinancial.com. Representatives are available now.
With SimpliSafe's Video Doorbell Pro, you'll know if the person at your door is friend or foe, or just a late-night cheese pizza with extra meatballs. With my smart lock, I can let him in. Entrez-vous. And I can lock up from right here. Same time tomorrow. So take it from an expert. Get SimpliSafe and protect home like a pro.
Visit SimpliSafe.com for a limited time offer. Celebrate Labor Day with a week-long marathon of your favorite shows. Don't miss Workin' Hard Week, starting Labor Day, only on the Weather Channel.
This is stressed out? Time to refresh your rhythm with Trident.
Pump up the jam, pump it up while your feet are stumping.
Trident Gum, the fresh chew to refresh your rhythm.
Here at the Cracker Barrel, we've got all the things you care about, like pancakes the way they're meant to be, and pot pie that brings together all the good stuff. It starts at just $7.99. Cracker Barrel, take care now.
This is an important alert from Pintus & Mullins Law Firm. Attention hernia mesh users. If you or a loved one received a hernia mesh implant in the past 20 years and it required repair or removal surgery, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Some manufacturers knew that mesh implants might cause serious injuries. Settlement negotiations with these manufacturers have begun. Call 800-601-0222 now, or go to meshclaim.com for a free case review. There is limited time to file a claim, so don't wait.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, overcast. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 84. Tonight, a stray shower or thunderstorm is possible early. Mostly cloudy. Low 74. Tuesday, cloudy. High 86. Winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
When it comes to covering the most important issue facing us and our Earth, one day does make all the difference. Now, the Weather Channel and its innovative climate team at Pattern are connecting you every day to the most fascinating stories impacting our planet. For what's now and what's next, rely on the climate experts with the most trusted name in TV news. If it's out there, it's in here. The Weather Channel.
We are already getting reports, and we've been getting them through the night, of some widespread destruction across the area. We know that there is structural damage to many buildings, even reports of a few buildings that may have collapsed. And we know that there's also some significant damage to a few hospitals, and so they're working right now to evacuate a few of those hospitals. But we're going to continue to see more damage as the assessment teams get out there today and really get a look at what happened from the storm yesterday.
And that's really what the day is about. I mean, just taking a deep breath in, out, and then kind of doing an assessment of what took place. I will tell you, if you want a silver lining, it is that we actually just went back through the French Quarter area, and I'll tell you, there was no evidence of flooding. So flooding did not occur there, and that is a wonderful thing. Despite the abundance of rainfall that we've had this season, 20 inches of rainfall in the bonus category, and then we had the heavy rain last night. Welcome back, everyone. I'm meteorologist Reynolds Wolf. You're watching continued coverage here on the Weather Channel. In this area, we are still dealing with the aftermath of Ida, but remember, this is still a system that poses a threat to so many people, especially in terms of flooding, that we could see over the coming hours and days. But it is interesting that here in Canal Street. Canal Street at one point was one of the widest streets on the planet, and it was, designed to actually at one point be a canal that would connect Lake Pontchartrain clear down the Mississippi River. Yeah, powerful work, but I'll tell you, in terms of power, we don't have any of it. See those things up there? Those are not working. And the reason why, again, widespread power outages for the entire city. Parish, and in the surrounding area, those numbers go up considerably. So crews are going to be out and about. Today, again, an assessment day, but the real work gets underway in the coming days, Justin, and possibly up to a week or longer. Just, I know in Gulfport there were some power outages there too. Hopefully not as quite as bad as what they're dealing with in parts of southern Louisiana. Back to you, Justin.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Reynolds, thankfully, people here fared fairly well, certainly better than our friends to the west in Louisiana, and that is some really great news. I want to show you some video from yesterday, the storm surge flooding coming in off the Gulf of Mexico. All the marina and much of Highway 90 that runs east and west along the Gulf front here was completely covered in water. Now it's covered in sand, but you can see that storm surge flooding was coming in, careening off the Gulf as those winds from Ida were blowing it onshore. And that was an issue for the better part of the day yesterday into last night. And in fact, even as early as this morning. Right now, though, the winds have shifted as, of course, during the storm, they were basically northwesterly winds coming from the southeast. Then they were southerly winds going directly north. Now they're coming from the southwest and going to the northeast. As the storm continues to move through, those winds are definitely, as always, going to change direction. And we're dealing with that right now. The good news is Gulfport, Mississippi, from the mayor's perspective, from the public works perspective, everybody is very happy, Jeff, how Gulfport fared during this storm. There is cleanup to do. They're involved in that now. There are still several roads that are closed because of flooding and other issues, but still, compared to our friends to the west in Louisiana, Gulfport was spared from Ida. Jeff, into you.
All right, thank you, Justin. And the Gulf behind you definitely looking a lot calmer than what it did yesterday, thankfully. All right, trust the Weather Channel, obviously, to keep you updated. And let's talk a little bit about what's going to happen with all this moisture as it heads more toward the northeast. Yeah, more flooding. Flash flood watches are up in anticipation of all that tropical moisture that we've been showing you down across parts of Mississippi and Alabama, moving up across Tennessee and eventually getting all the way up into West Virginia, Northern Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, even New Jersey. Those flash flood watches are in effect. Now, this entire region where those flash flood watches are in effect have had a lot of rain here in the last 7 days, so it's not really a huge surprise. You get a lot of tropical moisture on top of fairly saturated ground, particularly when you throw in the terrain that we're talking about here with the deep ravines and valleys, particularly West Virginia into Kentucky, Tennessee, and North Carolina. You're talking about the flash flood threat being fairly high across that region. So let's go ahead and track it here. Here we go as we head through the day tomorrow. This would be the center of what's left of Ida. Out ahead of it, it'll be pushing a lot of this tropical moisture on up through the upper Ohio Valley and on up into Pennsylvania. Places like Pittsburgh, State College, Scranton, on over to Philadelphia and Baltimore, all could be getting some fairly heavy rain, even into the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia. And then as we head through the day Wednesday and Wednesday night, it looks like our flash flood threat will be primarily here from West Virginia, right on up through Pennsylvania. Some of the big cities like D.C., Baltimore, Philly, and New York could get some very, very heavy rain out of this system. As I mentioned, you can always trust the Weather Channel and our team of veteran meteorologists to guide you through the alerts and keep you up to the minute on Ida's path. And we'll be going back to some of those experts in just a few minutes here on the Weather Channel. Please stay with us.
If your underwear feels like this, dun 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 dun, la da 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 da, dun 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 dun, da 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 da, da 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 da, get buck naked. The most comfortable underwear there is. Only at Duluth Trading.
Nothing gets leaks in water. So, Paul, we're talking about gutters. What was life like before Leaf Filter?
Well, for starters, I hated cleaning those nasty gutters.
Clogged gutters caused so much damage to my home. The roof leaked, the basement flooded. I mean, me and that ladder did not get along.
To be honest, dangerous. I would cringe every time we had to climb the ladder to clean the gutters.
What do you like most about Leaf Filter?
Everything. Free inspection, the installation, the lifetime transferable warranty, and hey, I don't have to get back on that ladder again.
Leaf Filter just works flawlessly at filtering out leaves and debris.
So how has life changed since Leaf Filter?
It's less complicated. My gutters are clog-free, and that keeps me stress-free.
Thanks to Leaf Filter, we were able to put the ladder away, and that makes us feel good.
So I take it you'd recommend Leaf Filter?
Absolutely. All my neighbors already know. Leaf Filter is a no-brainer.
Call 833-LEAF-FILTER or go to getleaffilter.com for your free gutter inspection and estimate. Call or log on today and save 15%.
Our seasonal savings aren't made to lure you in. Quite the opposite, to get you out there doing stuff. Save more this Labor Day in-store and online at the Home Depot. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Look at you getting back to normal. Or at least your 2021 version of what normal should be. And no matter what that is, Walgreens is here to help you do it your way. With delivery in as little as 1 hour. Because now, things come to you. Same-day vaccination appointments. Because you're ready. And Walgreens cash rewards you can donate back to your community. The new normal? Have to admit, it does have its upside. Walgreens.
Are you on Medicaid or Medicare? The U.S. government recently announced that 12.2 million citizens are eligible for additional benefits beyond what they received from the original Medicare or Medicaid.
These benefits include up to $3,500 of dental credit, up to $1,272 to spend at your local pharmacy, up to $144 added back to your Social Security check every month.
It's easy to see if you qualify.
Just call Go Medicare at 800-450-6428.
And see if you're one of over 12 million who may qualify.
For up to $3,500 of dental credit, up to $1,272 to spend at your local pharmacy, and up to $144 added back to your Social Security check every month.
This call is 100% free with no obligation to enroll. So call today.
At 800-450-6428. That's 800-450-6428. Go Medicare. We get you
more benefits. Asking what would Pop-Tarts do is how you get from Toastin' Jam to That's My Jam. From Sunday to Sunday. So, like, what would Pop-Tarts do here? Yeah, that feels right. Crazy good.
The Weather Channel and its innovative climate team at Pattern are connecting you every day to the most fascinating stories impacting our planet. Rely on the climate experts with the most trusted name in TV news. If it's out there, it's in here. The Weather Channel.
Now, airplanes are machines of flight, but yesterday they retreated to water and to wind that seemed as though it was never going to stop. You're seeing images from Lakefront Airport in New Orleans, and this water coming in, compliments of Ida. And at the same time, the waters that are bubbling up from Lake Pontchartrain, and what a mess that we have there. Now, the airplanes, to all you aviators out there, please know that these planes have not been destroyed, but the Air Club says it may be a while before they get them back up in the friendly skies once again. Welcome back, everyone. I'm meteorologist Reynolds Wolf, coming to you along the banks of the mighty Mississippi River. We are actually positioned south of the city of New Orleans. New Orleans is right over our camera position. The man Austin Anderson's the man behind the camera. And then beyond that, you'll find Lake Pontchartrain. But here we go from the riverboat. Off to the distance, you see the clouds setting sail and continuing their journey a bit farther to the north, and trouble goes with it. Ida now, again, much weaker, a shadow of what it used to be, but still poses a threat to so many people in the form of flooding. Now, what's interesting in our position here, as I mentioned, just to our north, we've got the city. To our south, we've got the, well, this is, you can see it right here. I mean, how can you possibly miss it? The Mississippi River. Now, what's interesting is on the other side of that bridge was the positioning of that giant transformer tower that had those 8 sources of power that came into the city of New Orleans. Now that came over last night, toppled over, and my guess, don't know for sure, but my guess it would have happened right around 6:30 in the evening. So, because when I would say right as the clock hit 6:30, there was a little bit of a blinking of lights and then darkness. And now, at this point, the city of New Orleans remains in that darkness despite the light of day. There's no power here. And so you've got 390,000 people in New Orleans, but you include the greater New Orleans area, and that population explodes well beyond 1 million, and many of them do not have the electricity they need. So it's hard to find a place in southern Louisiana that has not been affected. And we leave our areas here, and if we were to fly to the south in places like Grand Isle, we're told that making a journey there is next to impossible. You can't find roads that are not blocked, that are not impassable. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So, Jeff, it is all part, as we mentioned earlier, about taking a deep breath, exhaling, and then going for a better day. Now, Jim Cantore again has been with us, and Jim, has he been here in New Orleans? And Jim, you have been through just about everything that nature can throw at you weather-wise. This one, certainly the stuff of craziness last night.
And a historic one, certainly, for the folks here in Lafitte who are underwater. Okay, we're on the other side of the levee. We're in the unprotected area. I want to talk to Mayor Tim Kerner, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what happened here, certainly last night and yesterday. And it's not like you haven't flooded before, but this one's different.
Yeah, look, this is the worst storm that's ever hit Lafitte in its history, and we've been hit pretty hard by storms. We were completely consumed by water. We had high wind, significant damage. Our bridge was taken out by a vessel, leaving 1,200 people. Population of 1,200 people. There's only about probably 50 to 150 people in that area stranded.
50 to 150. How many have you gotten out so far?
In the Barataria area. Now in Lower Lafitte, you have a few more. We got about 100 people so far. We got 27 out last night in the midst of the storm. We actually went in, 100 mile an hour wind with a small team of volunteers, and we went in. We got a list of people who were in imminent danger. Elderly women who couldn't swim, and we went in and we grabbed those 27 people.
I mean, did you literally find them on top of their roofs?
We found them in attics. We found them where a person was in a smaller house, and she just didn't prepare well, but she was in a bond.
So what's the situation today? You've got boats. A lot of them look like volunteer airboats and things.
Oh yeah, volunteer, different government agencies. They've all come out. I mean, it's an army down there to help and finish the job. Now the panic's over, luckily, because the tide is starting to decrease. So people who were in attics don't have to worry about suffocating. Right. Just sit tight, and we're going to get to you. That's our objective right now, is to make sure everybody, we get them to safety.
Any idea of how many you need to get to?
But we've gotten about.
And I know that's a tough question.
Yeah, it's impossible. It's a little over 70. I think this is going to turn into a situation where we have to go knock on doors. We have a good compiled list of people we thought who stayed during the mandatory evacuation, so we're going to go hit those doors, and hopefully we find people safe or not there.
Is there anything you need to get the word out right now, because this is your shot?
Yeah, look, right now,
about 30 seconds.
We're going to need help. We're going to need help. We were hit and we were devastated, and
more boats, trucks.
No, we're going to need help in the future to get this community back, and these people that have suffered so much. And we got an island in Barataria. Not only they have 10 foot of water and wind damage, but then they don't have access to leave or get there. So I mean, this is a situation where these people are hit hard.
Mayor Tim Kerner, thank you for your time, sir. I appreciate that. Good luck with everything. We're going to break. We'll be right back.
Return to rugged, the all-new ruggedly redesigned 2022 Nissan Pathfinder.
This is Fracture. Just upload an image, place your order, and it'll show up at your door beautifully printed directly on glass. And this isn't just another frame, not just another canvas. This is new. This is a Fracture. Visit FractureMe.com and print one today.
Attention everyone on Medicare. If you're over 65, you've seen many things over the years, but this year's COVID-19 virus has taken a toll. That's why calling to make sure your Medicare plan is updated for 2021 is so important. Everyone eligible for Medicare is encouraged to call 800-316-8396 now for your free, no-obligation 2021 Medicare benefits review. Millions of Americans may not have all of the Medicare benefits that are available to them right now. Call now to see if you are eligible to save money and get additional benefits. You don't get these savings or additional benefits automatically, so call now to make sure you are getting all the benefits you deserve. If you're not sure if you are eligible, just call the number on your screen now for your free, no-obligation Medicare benefits review. With all of the news about the virus and vaccines, it's comforting to know your Medicare benefits are there for you. To make sure you're not missing out on other available Medicare-approved benefits, call the number on your screen right now. Plus, you may be eligible for additional benefits like home prescription delivery and expanded at-home telehealth visits. Just call 800-316-8396 now to find out if you're eligible for a Medicare Advantage plan that includes additional benefits like free hearing aids, free eyeglasses, free meal delivery, and free rides to medical appointments. You may also be eligible for $0 monthly monthly premiums, $0 deductibles, or $0 copays. Just call the toll-free number on your screen now. There is no obligation to enroll. The call and Medicare benefits review are absolutely free. Call now for your 2021 Medicare benefits review. You may be able to save money and receive additional benefits. Call now for your free, no-obligation Medicare benefits review. Call 800-316-8396. 800-316-8396.
Hi, Phil Swift here. When you need maximum coverage and sealing power, take it to the max with FlexMax. Your favorite FlexSeal products are now giant-sized. For maximum coverage and sealing power, take it to the max with FlexMax.
Say goodbye to daily insulin injections and simplify life with diabetes with Omnipod. It's a tubeless waterproof pod that provides insulin without multiple daily injections. Most Omnipod Dash users pay less than $50 copay per month through the pharmacy. Get started with a free 30-day trial. Go to omnipod.com/free for risk information, instructions for use, and free trial terms and conditions. Consult your healthcare provider before starting on Omnipod. Simplify diabetes. Simplify life. Omnipod.
Celebrate Labor Day with a week-long marathon of your favorite shows. Don't miss Working Hard Week, starting Labor Day, only on the Weather Channel.
You're watching the Weather Channel's continuing coverage of now Tropical Storm Ida. I'm Justin Michaels, live in Gulfport, Mississippi, and this is a community right on the Gulf Coast that is absolutely counting their blessings today because our friends to the west in Louisiana certainly fared much worse than the folks here in Gulfport, Louisiana. But that is not to say that there isn't plenty to do in this town to get it cleaned up. And in fact, the mayor here in Gulfport is on a call right now with the president to understand better about federal assistance in getting Mississippi back after Ida, of course, and also Louisiana. Now, take a look right now. You're going to see some video here of a lot of sand, and that's because we had quite a storm surge that did come ashore here off the Gulf of Mexico as Ida was rolling to the north and eventually a little bit to the east. And you can see Highway 90, which is one of the main roads that goes back and forth right along the coast, all the way Biloxi and points beyond to the east, and even Bay St. Louis, Waveland points to the west. 90 is a place that people go up and back along the Gulf, is filled with sand today because of that storm surge flooding. So municipal crews are working hard with front end loaders and dump trucks to get that sand off the road and get that road fully opened and navigable again. That's going to certainly help people here. As far as road closures, there were more than 20 at the height of the storm. Even this morning, as people were waking up, roads were closed in and around the Gulfport area, but those are being cleaned up as well. Power outages in Mississippi were nowhere near what our friends to the west in Louisiana are still dealing with, and that is some good news as Entergy and other power providers are working very hard to make sure that Mississippi is fully back online, and we have to believe that's going to be happening in the not so distant future. So the story here, Carl, in Gulfport, Mississippi, was a story as the storm was coming up shore, definitely of storm surge, but thankfully for the folks who live here, Carl, nothing like what people in Louisiana are dealing with, and Carl, you and I both know are going to be dealing with for days, maybe weeks, months to come.
Yeah, very
Carl,
tough.
to you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Justin. And let's take a look at what's going on with the severe weather threat right now. Got a couple of tornado warnings to tell you about in Alabama. One of those now for Coffee County. And so let's zoom down and check that out. That's in the Troy area. Now, this thing has really sort of broadened out in the last couple of frames. You notice early on there we saw more of a circulation, and that has kind of sheared out since then. Nonetheless, let's just go ahead and track that forward and see where that's going to be headed in the next few minutes. Looks like it's going to be in a largely rural area, and we'll keep our eyes on that. And then off to the west here, I've got an ongoing tornado threat here. We've had several warnings on the same cell. New warning now for Clark and Wilcox counties. And let's take a look at the velocity data. The velocity data is not terribly compelling, but certainly there is some rotation showing up there. That is just south of Grove Hill, and that's moving towards the north. That'll be coming towards Grove Hill more immediately, just the next few minutes here. Fulton at 2:01. 209, rural at 222, and we have seen some debris showing up. It's not showing up right now, but just moments ago, south of Grove Hill, right in that area, that little green spot right there is where the radar is detecting irregular shapes, non-meteorological targets, as we say. So there could very well have been a tornado at that time. So we've got an ongoing tornado threat through parts of southern Alabama, as well as southeast Mississippi, northwest Florida. 3 out of 10 on the Torcon, and then a chance for some tornadoes even farther north up through Alabama and even into northwest Georgia through the rest of today. So that's one of the big things we're watching today. The other is the flood threat, Jeff, and a flash flood emergency in effect along the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
That's right. Just tremendous amounts of rain. You were showing the amounts there not too long ago. They were very, very impressive. We'll get to that in just a moment. I want to take you, first of all, up to Jackson, Mississippi, the capital city, now under still a tropical storm warning as Ida continues to move its way slowly inland. The storm conditions, well, they should slowly start to abate, but we're still getting some rain in that region. Looks like our flash flood threat there will start to diminish as we head on into this evening. All right, let's talk about how much rain has fallen. No surprise at all, it is southeast Louisiana that took the brunt of it. But Carl mentioned that flash flood emergency, and that is in the extreme southeast part, just west of Mobile, just across the state line there. And as much as 10 inches of rain to maybe a foot of rain fell in that area as this band of moisture was a little bit farther west. That little pink or purple kind of boxed in area that I just circled there, that's the flash flood emergency. Fortunately, no rain falling there right now. That has moved to the east over Mobile and is pushing on up into parts of Alabama. And then there's another batch of moisture, or fire hose, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, kind of moving right up across the panhandle of Florida and pushing up as well. There's Jackson, again, kind of right near where the center of circulation of Ida still is, but most of the heavy rain appears to be over with, at least for the immediate Jackson area. But in this kind of kidney bean shaped area out ahead of it, northeast Mississippi on into parts of central and western Alabama, that's where the flash flood threat is very, very high as we head on through the rest of today. And then gently moving on up to the northeast as the remnants, we think, by this time, maybe still a tropical depression overnight, but then the remnants of this area move on up across Tennessee, northern Georgia, and maybe western areas of North Carolina and eastern Kentucky as well. So the flash flood threat will continue to be ongoing for the next couple of days.
When you order carry-out, choose Domino's Carside Delivery. Check in when you arrive, and we guarantee we'll be headed out the door less than 2 minutes after your order is ready. If anything slows us down, your next pizza is free. Put Domino's new 2-minute guarantee to the test.
Power outages are unpredictable, inconvenient, and disruptive to your life, posing a real threat to your comfort and safety. When the power goes out, you have no lights, no refrigeration, no heating or air conditioning. Your well or sump pump won't work. Your modern daily electronics are rendered useless. And what if the power's out for days or weeks? Are you prepared? You can be with a Generac home standby generator.
24 days we were without power. I had water, I had ice, I had coffee, I had air conditioning. I was able to stay here because of Generac.
When a power outage occurs, your Generac home standby generator automatically powers up, so your life goes on without disruption. You and your family are comfortable, safe, and secure. Generac generators run on your home's existing natural gas or propane. And Generac's Mobile Link remote monitoring system keeps you posted on operating status, maintenance updates, and more. Generac generators are designed, engineered, and purpose-built in the USA. Generac is the #1 manufacturer of home standby generators in the world. 8 out of 10 home generators are Generac, with thousands of satisfied customers.
Very good product. Very, very good reviews from everybody.
Prices start at just $19.99, and owning a generator is easier than ever. Act now, and you can purchase and install a Generac home standby generator for as little as $99 a month with no down payment. You will also receive a free 7-year warranty valued at $695. Hurry, this offer ends September 12th. Call now to request your free quote with one of Generac's 8,000 nationwide dealers. The call is free, the quote is free, and there's no obligation to buy. Call now so the the next time there's a power outage, your home powers up. Power your life with Generac. Call or go online to request your free quote today.
At Long John Silver's, our legendary lobster bites are back with the delicious vengeance. Prepared with herby, buttery goodness and fried to golden perfection, they're the perfect delicacy for any occasion. Order online at longjohnsilvers.com. Fish.
Real people are finding real savings with Spectrum Mobile.
I switched because we wanted great service for less money. With Spectrum Mobile, I'm saving over $650 a year.
We've actually saved $612 in half a year.
Use the Spectrum Mobile Savings Calculator to find out how much you could save. Then get our unlimited data plan for $45 a line or our by the gig plan for $14 a gig. Call 844-230-8821.
Well, the idea that we can mix and match plans is great. This way we can adjust the plan to what our needs are at the moment.
These guys are unlimited, I'm by the gig, and I've got more money in my wallet.
Get the flexibility you want with the savings you need, all with free nationwide talk and text and no contracts. Call 844-230-8821.
We're paying a lot less and getting a whole lot more.
I'm wondering why I didn't switch to Spectrum Mobile a lot sooner than what I actually did.
Get Spectrum Mobile with our unlimited data plan for $45 a line or our by the gig plan for $14 a gig. Visit a Spectrum store, go to spectrummobile.com or call 844-230-8821.
The Weather Channel and its innovative climate team at Pattern are connecting you every day to the most fascinating stories impacting our planet. Rely on the climate experts with the most trusted name in TV news. If it's out there, it's in here. The Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 85 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, overcast. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 84. Tonight, a stray shower or thunderstorm is possible early. Mostly cloudy. Low 74. Tuesday, cloudy. High 86. Winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
And it is the day after here for Ida in Lafitte, Louisiana. We are southeast of New Orleans. We are also east of the levee protection system. So that means when the water comes in from the Gulf of Mexico and from the lakes and the bayous that surround this area, it floods. And it flooded more than it ever has before. We just finished talking to Mayor Tim Kerner. He has been, pretty much in a search and rescue mode here all night and all day. They pulled 27 people out last night, he said, about 70 today and counting. They estimated about 380 people still in this situation that need to be rescued. So if you do the math, we've got about 280 or so left. He really did, it's almost impossible to know the numbers. Some people are going to stay, some are going to go. The water's not come down all that much. Okay, so we've still got enough of an onshore flow to keep the water up, but it certainly will gradually go down as we go on in time. There has been a fleet of rescue boats out here, which it's interesting. They've just taken about 3 or 4 of those out of the water. And I was asking the gentleman from Jefferson Parish, are they done with the mission or are they getting a break? And he said, well, I mean, we're going to take a little bit of a break in through here because we don't have any immediate calls. So the urgency is starting to go away here for getting people out. But the mayor said to me, he said, Jim, we're going to have to just go door to door at some point to see if people are there and just deciding to stay because it's going to be a while before this water gets out of the harm's way. To give you an idea what they dealt with, they had water as high as the rooftops. People were up in their attics. They were up last night in the height of the storm getting some of these folks out of their attics. All right. I'm trying to find somebody who's just been brought in and that we could talk to, but whoever came in recently is pretty much gone at this point, and actually, do you blame them? Now, about 45 minutes ago, they just finished up a news conference for the city of New Orleans. I want to give you some updates from that. First of all, the 911 call service is down. All right, it is down. The transmission lines, especially that supply the power to New Orleans, they say there's extensive damage, there's substation issues, and when you take about New Orleans altogether, Energy says there's about 2,000 miles of transmission lines that need to be serviced. That's a lot, okay? But they've got people here to do that. The weather is certainly cooperating today. And also, Energy said there's just no way we have any idea when the power is going to come back on. This is obviously a huge deal with the hospital situation and the COVID influx that they've had there. I don't know the latest on that. I was listening for that because that's something I really wanted to hear. But, obviously that's going to be something that's ongoing and is going to continue to be a news story. Entergy also asks that you sign up for tech service, so that you can get an idea of when the power is coming back on. They're very diligent about getting the word out. Lots of resources to focus on the damage assessment. The West Bank pumping station that generated, water getting out of New Orleans failed. But they've got a generator ongoing out there to get that water back up. So there is some water, but they were very pleased with how the pumping stations worked for New Orleans. Even when we lost power, remember, all those stations are on backup generators. So they got a chance to keep getting the water out, which accumulated to more than 8 to 10 inches in some spots. So 84 sewer pumping stations. They lost power to 80 of them. 80 of the 84. All right, so they are going to selectively apply generators to those stations so that they can keep getting sewage out before they actually get a backup in the situation there. All right, we're getting a boat that's coming ashore and through here. Just want to tell you there was a spike on the east bank of water usage. They think there's maybe a break there. They're assessing that situation, and they're obviously very pleased with the way that the levees held out in this particular situation. But when you're on the other side of the levee, it's a different story. You're not protected, all right? And that's the situation there. So they're still pulling people out with rescue boats and volunteers and things like that. Looks like this gentleman is getting on hand and getting out of the water and getting out of harm's way.
Moving up more deeper water.
You're heading to deeper water? Okay, I just got the word. You're heading to deeper water. Either way, this is still an ongoing situation. Even the mayor had no idea how many folks are left out here. So when we know, we'll let you know. This is, either way, for Lafitte, Louisiana, you go back and you look at the history of hurricanes, the Isaacs, the Gustavs, the Ritas, the Katrinas. The mayor said there was nothing like that's ever come through here. So this is the worst flooding that they've ever seen from a hurricane, and it happened with Ida, eerily enough, on the same day that Katrina affected this area 16 years ago. So we'll keep you posted here, guys, from Lafitte, Louisiana, in Jefferson Parish. Let's go back to let's go to Reynolds Wolf, who is on the banks of the Mississippi. Reynolds, take it away.
Well, I'll tell you, Jim, right now where we happen to be, our current location is in Mid-City. You'll notice that we have these vehicles that are up on a higher ground. The reason for it is an evasive measure because of the flooding that they sure would come. But this is testament. Did not happen here. And testament to the great job the levees did and the pumps did in this location. Full coverage continues coming up in a few moments. Fuel team assembled to give you the very latest with regard to the system, but still poses a threat in flooding. We'll see you on the other side of this break.
This is more than glass and steel and stone. It's all beauty, the measure of progress. It's where people meet people, where cultures and bonds are made between us, where we create things together, open each other's minds, raise each other's ambitions, and do together what we can't do apart. This is Space for Dreams. LoopNet, the most popular place to find a space.
They line up by the thousands, each one suffering with a story that breaks your heart. Like 10-year-old Zakael, he had a growing tumor on his neck. His need for surgery was urgent. And Ravette, who needed help because every step brought her pain. Their only hope is a ship unlike any other, Mercy Ships, the largest floating civilian hospital in the world, with volunteer doctors and nurses who come to save lives. 60 Minutes called Mercy Ships the intersection of courage and compassion. Their mission is both simple and remarkably challenging: to bring free surgeries and care for people who have no other hope. They're true heroes, but they can't do this work without you. All it takes is a small monthly gift. Call now Only 62 cents a day, $19 a month, will help provide urgently needed surgery for the world's forgotten poor, the most vulnerable of all.
Every human being has the right to be treated as human, to have a place at the table of the human race.
If you have ever wondered, how can I, just one person, make a difference? This is your answer. Call now or go to mercyships.org. You too can transform lives. You too can be a hero. Mercy Ships saves thousands every year, but so many are still waiting and praying for surgery they could never get without your help. So don't wait. Call 888-504-0200 or donate now at mercyships.org. That's 888-504-0200.
Every customer has their own Safelite story. This couple loves camping adventures, and their SUV is always there with them. So when their windshield got a chip, they wanted it fixed fast. They drove to Safelite Auto Glass for a guaranteed same-day in-shop repair. We repaired the chip before it could crack, and with their insurance, it was no cost to them.
Really?
That's service you can trust when you need it most.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
DiGiorno has 7 delicious crusts, and your family food critics will rave. Croissant crust is flaky layers of buttery bliss. Rising crust is fresh baked deliciousness. There's a 5-star pizza for everyone in your family to love. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
You guys ever tried one of these bars made over at Red Twix? Why? Our special cookie is cascaded with caramel and cloaked in chocolate. Never wondered?
Try both. Pick a side. Twix.
The beach is completely covered in water right now, and as Ida continues to rage on, that push of water, that push of surge comes in more and more.
All of southeast Louisiana right now is without power. All 8 major transmission lines going into the New Orleans area failed. And I will tell you, daylight is going to bring some just horrific imagery from southeast Louisiana with the devastation that we know was caused by Hurricane Ida.
Hey guys, we are live in Lafitte, Louisiana right now. You can see some of these airboats coming in. When we first arrived, there was probably about a half a dozen of these out here. They pulled some of them out, but basically it's about getting people out of the water. We are on the other side of the levee protection, all right? And as a result of that, a lot of these homes and people inside that decided to stay went underwater last night. We were talking to the mayor, Tim Kerner, and he was saying, Jim, we were out in the middle of the storm getting people. There was one guy we went out with. He said they were done. He goes, I can't go out in this. It was bad. He said even his father, who's a representative here in the state of Louisiana, also went out last night to help people. Small community here. They did what they could, certainly, to get people out of harm's way last night, and they accomplished what they wanted. 27 last night, 70 so far today. Looks like we're adding numbers to that list, but also seeing some of these volunteer boats coming out of the water. As a matter of fact, we just had one guy who was here who pulled his boat out, and he was here this morning. He's already gone, Chris. So, and he was telling me, he goes, Jim, I asked him if he'd talk to us and just tell us what it was like back there. How deep is the water? How many homes? Are there still people in their homes? And he's like, I can't do that right now. He goes, my whole shop, my whole livelihood is underwater. I just came out this morning to do what I could do. And obviously I understood that, but that just puts it into perspective. His whole shop is underwater, but he comes out here to lend a helping hand. That's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome guy. Wish you could have met him. It was a pleasure to talk to a guy like that, I'll be honest with you. So, again, the situation here, Jeff, is one that's moving. We're going to see how many more people are in there. Hopefully get a chance to get out there and see just how bad it is, and we'll bring you those pictures when we can. Right now, let's get an update on where Ida is and what it's doing, because I know it's not over for a lot of folks.
That's exactly right, and it's nice to hear about people helping people there, Jim. All right, we'll get back to Jim in just a few. Let's update you now, though, on what we know. New Orleans officials are asking people to not return home yet because of dangerous conditions and stressed emergency services and basically no power in New Orleans. And President Biden has approved the Louisiana governor's request for a major disaster declaration, which will send federal aid to the state. And more than 1 million customers, including all of New Orleans, are still without power, and more than 100,000 are without power in Mississippi. So as we just saw with Jim there, the water rescues are still ongoing there, but now our emphasis maybe for the rain that's falling now and the severe weather threat, that's moved a little bit farther east.
Yeah, more towards Alabama and also getting into even northwest Florida and perhaps into Georgia later today. So let's take a look at what's going on right now with the storm. It is still a tropical storm at this hour. We'll show you the particulars in just a moment. Also want to show you some time-lapse footage taken in Houma, Louisiana, southwest of New Orleans in Terrebonne Parish. Our stringer tells us the camera was positioned on the Barrow Street Bridge 10 feet above the ground. You can see the incredible power of the wind, and I'm going to show you some of the numbers that we got yesterday. They are amazing. Some values that are well over 150 miles per hour. So again, right now, a 40-mile-per-hour tropical storm. It is moving north-northeast at 9 miles per hour. We have an ongoing severe threat and an ongoing heavy rain threat. Tornado warning now for Clark and Wilcox County. We've been seeing unbroken tornado warnings on this storm. In fact, it's been about 70 miles of unbroken tornado warnings, and still seeing some rotations. Not the most profound circulation I've ever seen, but certainly some rotation showing up near Fulton. So that coming towards rural and Thomasville and sunny south as well. Possible tornado coming your way and moving to the north about 25 miles per hour. There's a tornado watch that is ongoing until 4 o'clock, and that for parts of Mississippi, Alabama, and northwest Florida. Now, turning the clock back to yesterday at this time, you see the incredible structure of the storm even after it made landfall. It was over intertidal areas there, and some of these wind values are just unbelievable. Look at that. Port Fourchon, 172 mile per hour wind gust, 153 in Leeville and Golden Meadow at 125. Just a really, really powerful windstorm, and we see widespread outages that continue at this hour in southeast Louisiana as a result of that. There's the current satellite picture. Still some wind to talk about. It's not nearly what it was. Still gusting to 30 miles per hour in Mobile and 29 in Jackson. We still have onshore flow, so there's still some surge, including nearly 5 feet at New Canal Station, and storm surge warning still in effect in parts of Mississippi and also in Alabama. All right, we want to get back out to Jim Cantore in Lafitte. And Jim, we talked yesterday about the fact that the structure of this storm was just unbelievable, even as it was coming inland over that Brown Ocean. It was not just that it was over the intertidal areas, it's also that there was surge, and the water that was coming in was at 31 C or higher. So you had even warmer water than normal in those areas.
Right. Right, yeah, so think about that. You took all this water and you pushed it over normally dry land. And so when the storm comes in, it still thinks it's over the Gulf. So it doesn't know any better. And it just continues to feed off that fuel. And then you start getting into frictional issues and things like that. And obviously the storm starts to break down. But it took a lot longer, Carl. You're absolutely right about that. Well, we are in Lafitte. All right. It was quite a feat last night to watch the pumps work very well, to see the levee system, the levee protection system hold up very well. New Orleans is very pleased about that. The problem is the whole city's without power. All right. And the people that did decide to stay behind, like here in Lafitte, which is on the other side of that protection system, are needing to be rescued. We've had a lot of boats out through here, a lot of airboats. Some of these guys are pulling their boats out of the water. The mayor, didn't seem to think there's an urgency like there was last night and this morning. They estimate about 27 people last night coming out of the water. That they actually went out during the hurricane, which is unbelievable to me in the dark. And then about 70 so far today. So that's what we're looking at. I mean, being on these things as many times as I had, there doesn't seem to be an urgency. It doesn't seem like they got to get somebody out, at this point. So potentially, folks are in the water that are going to stay in their homes for a little while longer. I was just talking to a gentleman who's from this area. He came out to help this morning as well. He didn't want to be on camera, which is fine. I totally respect that. But he said this is the highest the water's ever been. He said the wind was stronger with Katrina, but the water's as high as it could be. And it's not going to take a few days to go down, especially as long as we have this south wind. It's going to keep the water up, and then you have about a 1 to 2 foot tidal shift between high and low tide, and so the water could easily come even back up a little bit as long as we have that south wind. So not sure what this piece of heavy equipment has in it. I don't know if it's people that they've rescued. They're trying to come to this side. I don't know if it's. I'm just really not sure. You're going to know when I know when they come ashore here. But for a second, Erickson, spin the camera around. I just want to show everybody. There's a undertaking out here. We've got ambulances on standby. There's also a bus just beyond those ambulances, which obviously if they're going to bring a bigger group, they're going to be able to get them in the bus and then transport them to potentially a shelter or an undisclosed location that I'm not aware of. But there's a lot of folks out here managing this at the present time. So this is what you call a high water vehicle. Obviously you can take 3, 4, 5 feet of water and drive out through it. You just saw them come across the road there, and it looks like we got some folks that have just come in. Excuse me. What's that?
Dogs that we just rescued in the back of our truck.
And how they do? They doing okay?
Yeah, they're fine. We're getting them out of the high water.
You drove out to them and got them?
Yeah. This is a truck that can go through 5 feet of water, and there's a lot of water down there.
So how many more people are in need of rescue? Are you going to go back in?
I don't think we're going to go back in. We spent about an hour down there. We found a lot of people sitting on their porches drinking beers.
Oh, jeez. Well, we know that. Some people don't want to be rescued, and they may just kind of ride it out.
Yeah.
But, this it's going to take a while for this water to go down, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Pictures.
All right, we'll deal with that in a second, okay? But we're actually live right now, so Thank you for bringing us that update. I'm sure this family's pretty appreciative of you, sir.
Okay.
Take care, brother. Amazing what happens when you're on. What's that? Anyway, it's amazing what happens when you're actually on television. Because this is very much breaking. These folks obviously just coming out of the water. They're happy to be back. Looks like another Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office search and rescue vehicle coming across the water. So at least we know that. Some of these high water vehicles, which as you just heard from that gentleman, could take 4 or 5 feet of water, coming across and making it all the way on this particular road. But as you heard too, there's a lot of water in there, Jim. There's a lot of water in there. Some people sitting on their porches having a couple of beers. So, it's a free country, so to each his own with this thing. We'll see how things go, though, as we go through the next couple of days, because we know this water is going to take a while to come down. And, it's one thing spending a day or two, but when you start talking about, 2, 3, 4 days, then things certainly get a little bit different. All right, let's find out what's happening in the city of New Orleans. Again, Reynolds Wolf, I know they're pretty strict about who they want out on the streets and who they don't want out there. But the big deal is no power and no 911 call service. Yeah. That's a pretty bad thing.
Yeah, it is not good. That is a bad combination. But if you want a bit of a silver lining, you can find it here in Mid-City. And the silver lining happens to be that in this area, the pumps and the levees did a pretty good job. Now, you'll notice that you've got quite a few cars right here in the middle. The reason why they're there for high ground is because the encroachment of water they expected. Well, the water did not make much of a huge difference here. However, the wind did. And you could look here for probably more than a century.
Interview's name?
All right, so obviously we're having some technical difficulties there. That's to be expected when you have live television coverage. We want to tell you about a new tornado warning now in Alabama. That is for Pike County going until 2:45. And we're looking at some rotation near Troy, sitting right in there. It's not as tight as it was just moments ago. You go back a couple frames right in there, very, very tight circulation, and could well have been a brief tornado there. But again, at this time, not quite as pronounced as it was. Let's track that forward, though. That coming towards Dunn and towards Jonesville and Linwood as well. Possible tornado coming your way. And there's a continuing tornado warning in the western part of the state, and that is for Clark and Wilcox counties going until 2:30. Here, seeing some very broad rotation showing up near Thomasville right now. I'll track that just to be on the safe side, but not nearly what it was. That coming toward Atkinson and also Surgener in the next few minutes here. As we look farther south, we've got some drier air and some sunshine actually coming around the underside of the tropical storm right now. And so along with that, you're going to see a little more instability going through this afternoon in parts of Alabama and parts of Mississippi, northwest Florida. That's showing up in that yellow and orange color there. So that'll allow thunderstorms to get a little bit taller. And then on top of that, there's winds coming out of different directions in the lowest levels of the atmosphere, coming out of the southeast here at the surface and then coming out of the south at about 5,000 feet. And these are winds of 45 miles per hour at 5,000 feet. So that change of wind speed and direction creates a spin in the atmosphere. And that's the beginning of the process that leads to rotating storms and eventually tornadoes. So that's why there is this tornado watch in effect where all of that is coming together. And that is going through 4 o'clock this afternoon. And we've got a 3 out of 10 on our Torcon for that same area. And then also a 2 out of 10 farther north up into Alabama, northwest Georgia, even up into Tennessee. That's going to be an ongoing thing that we're going to be watching for. All right, we want to go out to Justin Michaels right now. He's reporting on the storm in Gulfport. And Justin, as I was telling your colleague there, Tevin Wooten, pretty amazing. You were about 90 miles away from the secondary eye wall where the very worst of the wind was. I mean, 90 miles away, and you still got a heck of a storm there.
We definitely did. Last night, Carl, was quite a violent experience, especially as the storm surge flooding was coming on shore throughout the course of yesterday. Highway 90 right now is still pretty sand covered from all that storm surge coming in. And a gentleman who's working hard with his teams and also MDOT to get that cleaned is Wayne Miller here, Director of Public Works for Gulfport, Mississippi. Wayne, thanks for being with us today. So tell me, as you go around town, I know you were out late last night and the storm was bearing down. How is Gulfport today from your perspective in Public Works?
Gulfport's doing very good right now. We were a little concerned going into the night, and then, we got into what was the worst of it between 12 and 3 o'clock. We hit the road around 3:30 and kind of was starting to look around and see what was going on, and we realized we did fare well. We didn't have the surge they were expecting, but we still got all of the sand on Highway 90 like you had mentioned.
And about that sand, that's not going back out into the Gulf.
No, sir, that is not. That's being collected by MDOT and hauled off. It's not allowed to go back onto the beach.
Because of chemicals, fuels, things like that?
That's correct. Anything that could come off the vehicle that goes into the asphalt, and we just don't want to put that back into the beach that, people will be playing in.
And as far from the Public Works perspective, I know you said earlier that a lot of people are out trying to clean out their own drains, doing their own things, being part of the community here to get Gulfport back. What would you ask people who are residents in Gulfport after Ida to really get this place back moving again after the storm?
Absolutely. I was driving around earlier today and I noticed several residents that were outside with rakes just cleaning their grates, opening up culverts or curb inlets. That's great. Anything they can do to help us. We have crews out as well, about 130 people out doing the same thing, but anything they can do to help us move the water to get it off the road quicker, the better.
Very good. Wayne Miller, Director of Public Works here, Gulfport, Mississippi. We're grateful for you, and thank you for inviting us to your town yet again. We appreciate you guys. So, the Weather Channel is going to have continuing and extensive coverage of the aftermath of Ida. The storm is continuing to push north. Louisiana is in need of a lot of help. We're back after this.
Return to rugged, the all-new ruggedly redesigned 2022 Nissan Pathfinder.
Show some love, Peloton. High five a friend across the country or right next door. Let's go hit the mat for core. Y'all look so good out there, Peloton.
The original Peloton bike, now $400 less. All access membership separate.
Attention, everyone on Medicare. If you're over 65, you've seen many things over the years. But this year's COVID-19 virus has taken a toll. That's why calling to make sure your Medicare plan is updated for 2021 is so important. Everyone eligible for Medicare is encouraged to call 800-659-8109 now for your free, no-obligation 2021 Medicare Benefits Review.
Hi, I'm Joan London. Many of you may qualify to save money or receive Medicare-approved benefits at no additional cost. But you don't get these savings or additional benefits automatically.
Millions of Americans may not have have all of the Medicare benefits that are available to them right now. If you're not sure if you are eligible, just call the number on your screen now for your free, no-obligation Medicare benefits review. With all of the news about the virus and vaccines, it's comforting to know your Medicare benefits are there for you. To make sure you're not missing out on other available Medicare-approved benefits, call the number on the screen right now.
They can see if you are eligible for new Medicare benefits like free eyeglasses, prescription drug home delivery, expanded at-home telehealth visits, and an over-the-counter allowance for things like pain relievers or skincare products. You may even be eligible for $0 monthly premiums, $0 deductibles, or no copays. Call for your free no-obligation Medicare benefits review to make sure you're getting all the benefits you qualify for.
Call the number on your screen now for your 2021 Medicare benefits review. You may be able to save money and receive additional benefits. Call now for your free, no-obligation Medicare benefits review. Call 800-659-8109. That's 800-659-8109. 800-659-8109.
New projects means new project managers. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/hire and get started today.
There's no other snack like a Planters cashew. What else can go from your car's cup holder to a crystal bowl and seem equally at home? I guess the most well-rounded snack isn't round at all. It's more cashew-shaped. Planters, a nut above.
It's a fact. No other news network out there is trusted more than the Weather Channel. And America doesn't trust hurricane season to just anyone.
Air. It's the power source of all life. As the world's #1 air conditioning company, we aim to perfect it. It affects how we work, how we play, how we grow, and how we perform. It's the one thing we all share, and at Daikin, nothing could be more important. Perfect your air with APCO at perfectingtheair.com.
Better sleep means a better you. Mattress Firm's Rest Assured Promise guarantees you'll find your perfect bed from America's best brands. Save up to $700 on Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets and get a $300 instant gift good towards sleep accessories. Only at Mattress Firm.
Whether it's a last-second bake sale, Taco Tuesday, or a meal for your future in-laws, it's gonna be great. With McCormick by your side for over 130 years, it's gonna be great.
A flash flood watch is in effect. Currently in our area, 85 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, a stray shower or thunderstorm is possible early, mostly cloudy, low 74. Tuesday, mainly cloudy, high 86. Winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday night, cloudy, low 71. Winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
This Labor Day, celebrate hardworking heroes everywhere.
I said it once and I'll say it again. I love my job.
With a week-long marathon of some of the most extreme, intense, and dangerous jobs out there.
If this breaks, I'm a dead man.
Featuring your favorite shows.
This business is blood, sweat, and tears.
Don't you want this job? Don't miss Working Hard Week, starting Labor Day, only on the Weather Channel.
It was like it flattened out. When it finally flattened out, the storm was pretty much over. We was winging the rain, but everything else to the end was bad. The last 12 hours was really the end of the bad. Was really, really bad.
And so, what did you think when you finally saw somebody to come get you?
When I was on the roof, man, and I saw the helicopter, I didn't get scared. And the water didn't scare me because I'm a trawler and I take it where we live. That's what we got to deal with. Sometimes, hey, people get mudslides, some get avalanches. I took water every 5 storms, never went in my house. This is the first one that actually went in my house. Like, yeah, and I just took it how it came.
So you based your decision to stay on the fact that...
I stayed on the decision of I knew what I could take from the complications of... But on the right side. The storm hit the east, came on the wrong side. We needed the west side. We needed that side. Because it would have gave us all that water, suck in, suck out, never brought it back. It would have and kept going.
And we still have the south wind, so still got keeping the water up.
If the water will ride up probably another 5.5 foot, 4 foot on top of what's already there. And then they asking for 12 inches of rain.
So what is your plan from this point on? Where are you going now?
I'm going to get where I could get to dry land, try to contact my mother, my father, my brother, and whatever I could do up there, but make my way to a hotel or something and just bear down what I could do and just hope they got power where I get and just try to keep myself going. That's all I could do. True spirit. That's it. That's it.
Hey, listen, thanks for stopping and talking to us. We appreciate that. I know you just got out of a heck of a situation there.
Shit happens, bro. That's part of life.
It absolutely is, but you're safe in here to talk about it.
You can deal with COVID. You can deal with everything else. The fact of it is, it's not pandemic shit that kill people. People kill their own people because they don't take care of their people. You help your environment. You don't leave your environment in a stone. I had people that couldn't get out their house. I was trying to get myself running in waist deep water to get people out of where they couldn't get out. I was literally trying.
There was a gentleman, I just want to let you know this, because I just talked to him a little while ago, with an airboat. His whole business, his whole shop is underwater, but he came out here. Yeah. So that's about community. You're absolutely right.
And community lives together. I mean, you can't have a community if you ain't got the people to put it together. And if they're not there and they don't help, next time when something happens, you don't help. You send a fair bill. You don't help me, I don't help you. You scratch me, I scratch you. You catch up. That's how it is. We learn that on the bayou.
So next time, you gonna stay or you gonna go?
Well, on anticipation, I can tell you like this. If it come and I feel I'm not in dire moment of gonna lose my house, I'm gonna stay till the last intact minute where I know everything's intact to my best of my ability. I saved everything I could and I just let whatever I could let go. And I told my mama, don't cry, don't get upset. I said, God got a will, God gonna make a way. He didn't put this world here for nothing. And just because these people run around and they all get scared with other stuff, you can't make a joke out of something. People, I battle in storms like I'm a ruthless. I don't care how ruthless you are. When you in the water, you're in the water. And if you ain't got nothing to help you stay afloat, partner, it's over. It's over.
Thank you, my friend.
It's over.
All right. Thank you.
All right,
good luck with everything. All right.
No problem.
You can see, some belongings. And he's going to talk to his parents. You came right up to me and started talking. I didn't even get your name.
Andrew.
Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. Andrew.
I live on 5669 Fisher Street. I got like 12 foot of water went through my house.
Thanks, Andrew. Good luck, buddy. All right. He literally, they were just getting off the high water vehicle there, and they started talking to us. So, we just wanted to hear what he had to say because he went through it. Hey, listen, I'm going to talk next. I'm going to throw it back to studio here, but I want to talk next to the parish president about the situation here, about what needs to be done, and where we go from here. So stick around for that. Let's go back to the studio now.
Actually, Jim, I'll take that from you. Justin Michaels live here in Gulfport, Mississippi. Jim, we do appreciate you and the reporting there. We're definitely going to be moving that direction at some point to do some more aftermath coverage. But right now here in Gulfport, you can see it really has turned into a bit of a windy, but not a bad day. So the cleanup that does need to happen here is certainly well underway. MDOT and, of course, municipal crews having to clean off Highway 90. Lots of sand out there from that storm surge flooding that came in. And you can see the marina here, the municipal marina, is still pretty empty. We have to believe boats will eventually come back in now that the curfew here in Gulfport has been lifted. It was lifted right around lunchtime today. So Gulfport, from the municipal standpoint, and talking to the Director of Public Works, they are very, very happy with how this community fared on the Gulf of Mexico with a Category 4 storm coming ashore last night, not far from where we are. Remember, the eye wall of Ida was only 90 miles to the west of where we are here in Gulfport. and this place fared very, very well. So the Weather Channel is going to continue to have live, extensive coverage of the aftermath of Ida, and we'll have that for you coming up right after these very quick messages.
Some have a history of building the best trucks. But according to just about anybody who's handed out a trophy, Ram currently builds the best trucks. So if you're shopping for a truck today, here it is. If you're shopping in the past, well, good luck with that. That was then. This is Ram.
Right now, get 0% financing for 72 months, plus no monthly payments for 90 days on the 2021 Ram 1500.
Hi, I'm Jimmy J.J. Walker. If you're on Medicare, listen to this. I called the 1-800 number to see what extra Medicare benefits I could get. An actual person answered, looked up my zip code, and boom, I was offered extra benefits like dental coverage, including dentures, extractions, fillings. Plus prescriptions, transportation, meals, and so much more, all at no additional cost. And then I asked about the benefit that adds money to my Social Security check. And get this, I'm entitled to an extra $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year added to my Social Security check. And I was like, dynamite! Call the 1-800 number on the screen and see what you may be entitled to. Call now. It's free.
I called and she looked up my zip code and said I could eliminate co-pays and get expanded dental work, prescriptions, transportation, and meals, all at no additional cost.
I called and couldn't believe that my zip code has dental care, transportation, meals, and the benefit that adds money to my Social Security check every month.
Look, your zip code may entitle you to save money and get significant extra benefits, including expanded coverage for dental work, all at no additional cost. Plus, you may be able to get money added to your Social Security check every single month. Fact is, you don't get these benefits automatically. You must call. Call and get everything you may be entitled to.
I'm on a fixed income, so I call to get money added to my Social Security check every month.
Call and get what you may be entitled to. Call now. It's free.
Call 1-800-591-0834. That's 1-800-591-0834.
Now. We love seeing our customers leave the store. Sure, we like seeing them come in. But when they're leaving, they're one step closer to doing what they love. That's why our seasonal savings aren't made to lure you in. Quite the opposite. Our main goal is to get you out there, doing stuff. You can also order online and get it delivered so you don't have to stop doing at all. Save more this Labor Day in-store and online at the Home Depot. The Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Angie's List is now Angie, and it's easier than ever to get your projects done right. Inside, outside, big or small, Angie helps you find the right solution for whatever you need done. With Angie, you can connect with top local pros and see ratings and reviews. Just search or scroll to see upfront pricing on hundreds of projects. And when you book and pay through Angie, you're covered by our happiness guarantee. It's easy to make your home an Angie home. Check out Angie.com today. Angie, and done.
It's a fact. No other news network out there is trusted more than the Weather Channel.
This is epic!
Trusted to be there where and when you need us. Trusted to work around the clock until every threat is over.
We're in this for the long haul.
Because America doesn't trust hurricane season to just anyone.
Welcome back to the Weather Channel's continuing coverage of what is now Tropical Storm Ida, what was a Category 4 hurricane. Ida is now moving northward over parts of Mississippi, along with Alabama and the Florida Panhandle. Those areas especially are at risk of heavy rainfall, flash flooding, and some possible tornadoes, which Carl's going to talk about in just a moment. Meanwhile, President Biden has approved the Louisiana governor's request for a major disaster declaration, which will send federal aid to the state. And New Orleans officials are asking people who evacuated not to return home yet because of dangerous conditions and stressed emergency services. More than 1 million customers, including all of New Orleans, are still without power, and more than 100,000 are without power in Mississippi. So, Carl, again, our emphasis as far as what's happening now with the weather has moved a bit, and as in Alabama, you've had several tornado warnings.
Yeah, always a concern when you have a landfalling tropical cyclone, the possibility for tornadoes. We've seen several today. There was a damaging tornado near Saraland, not very far away from Mobile, and there's a warning now and some other cells that are very interesting. So right now we've got a 40-mile-per-hour tropical storm. It's moving to the northeast at 9 miles per hour. Ongoing tornado warning for Pike County. This is in southeastern Alabama. And we actually may have had a tornado here. We got a report from local law enforcement of a tornado there. Still seeing some evidence of rotation. It's not as strong as it was, not nearly as tight as it was, but let's just go ahead and track that forward. That coming towards Linwood and Stills Crossroads as well. Now, farther west, back into Mississippi, we're seeing a number of cells here that are showing supercell character to them, which is to say they're showing some rotation. And indeed, when we look at the velocity data, we're seeing some rotation right there. And just moments ago, the cells to the south showing a little bit more as well. So we could be getting tornado warnings out of any of these at any time. I would not be at all surprised to see that. We've got a little bit of drier air running around the bottom side of that tropical storm. So just enough instability there and plenty of shear. And that tornado threat is going to continue through this afternoon. Now we want to get back out to Jim Cantore, who is in Lafitte in Louisiana. And Jim, just a widespread flooding in that part of Louisiana.
Yes, we are on the other side of the levee protection system, so the water comes in. It really is just going to pile up into here. I want to bring in the parish president here in Jefferson Parish, Cynthia Lee Shang, and she's going to talk to us about the situation, which, you know, it sounds like it's still breaking. We know there were 27 rescues last night, potentially another 70 today. Any idea of who else needs to be rescued, or are people just choosing to stay?
Well, what they're doing is our sheriff's office, our Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office with our firefighters and National Guard are really, as you can see, taking boats back there. It is quite a bit deep back there that you have to go, and picking up people that want to be rescued. I mean, they actually told me some people are staying in there, right. Which, you know, it's very dark at night, but, you know, I don't understand that mindset, but some people are choosing not to come out. So,
are the people that were, you know, calling and trying to get rescued starting last night, have you gotten to everybody yet?
We don't know if we've gotten to everybody. The boats are still going out. We'll probably be going back tomorrow. My understanding is that they're not. They're going to people who are looking to be rescued, but they're not going door to door, breaking down doors, doing that kind of check. So this will continue. So you have to go back and do that. We'd have to go back and do that but people who are wanting to be rescued, who are coming out for assistance, of course, that's the need right now. This will keep going until I think everybody's accounted for, maybe to the point where they'll have to break in some houses and see what's going on. So it's a long process yet, and it's not going to be done with today.
So let's talk about power. You know, no timeline from Entergy as to when they can get the system back online. We had a major transmission line that was obviously damaged severely. So what are you hearing?
So I have not been able to take the time to talk to our Entergy representatives to see a timeline. You know, I'm giving them time today to assess the situation. I think we've just been at it since about 6:30 a.m. Everybody needs to see what the equipment looks like. It's a very, very large parish. I'm hoping by later this evening we can get some estimates on time. I know we have a lot of people out of town who are looking at when they can come back in. So we're just not there yet. I haven't heard anything, and if they release something, I haven't heard of it yet.
But that same line that powers New Orleans powers you as well.
Powers the East Bank of Jefferson Parish, which is a very, very large area. It was a transmission tower near Avondale that collapsed. And so with that, you know, understanding we have a unique kind of sewer system here where we use gravity flow and pumping. We use electricity-based sewer system. So
I got about 20 seconds. Okay. I apologize. But basically, we should be talking about weeks, not days.
I'm not sure with electricity, but we're a broken community in terms of water, communication, sewer, that kind of thing.
Cynthia Lee Shang, Parish President, thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
DiGiorno has 7 delicious crusts, and your family food critics will rave. Croissant crust is flaky layers of buttery bliss. Rising crust is fresh baked deliciousness. There's a 5-star pizza for everyone in your family to love. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
There are times I wonder, why can't I wear white after Labor Day?
something on your mind? Chew on it. Twizzlers.
Attention everyone on Medicare. If you're over 65, you've seen many things over the years, but this year's COVID-19 virus has taken a toll. That's why calling to make sure your Medicare plan is updated for 2021 is so important. Everyone eligible for Medicare is encouraged to call 800-316-8396 now for your free, no-obligation 2021 Medicare benefits review. Millions of Americans may not have all of the Medicare benefits that are available to them right now. Call now to see if you are eligible to save money and get additional benefits. You don't get these savings or additional benefits automatically, so call now to make sure you are getting all the benefits you deserve. If you're not sure if you are eligible, just call the number on your screen now for your free, no-obligation Medicare benefits review. With all of the news about the virus and vaccines, it's comforting to know your Medicare benefits are there for you. To make sure you're not missing out on other available Medicare-approved benefits, call the number on your screen right now. Plus, you may be eligible for additional benefits like home prescription delivery and expanded at-home telehealth visits. Just call 800-316-8396 now to find out if you're eligible for a Medicare Advantage plan that includes additional benefits like free hearing aids, free eyeglasses, free meal delivery, and free rides to medical appointments. You may also be eligible for $0 monthly premiums, $0 deductibles, or $0 copays. Just call the toll-free number on your screen now. There is no obligation to enroll. The call and Medicare benefits review are absolutely free. Call now for your 2021 Medicare benefits review. You may be able to save money and receive additional benefits. Call now for your free, no-obligation Medicare benefits review. Call 800-316-8396. 800-316-8396.
USAA is made for the safe pilots. For Mac, who can come to a stop with barely a bobble. Lucia, who announces her intentions even if no one's there. And Sergeant Moore, who leaves room for her room. With USAA Safe Pilot, when you drive safe, you can save up to 30% on your auto insurance. Get a quote and start saving. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for.
Are you one of the millions of Americans who experience occasional bloating, gas, or abdominal discomfort? Taking Align every day can help. Align contains a quality probiotic developed by gastroenterologists. It adds more good bacteria to your gut to naturally help soothe your occasional bloating, gas, and abdominal discomfort. Support your digestive health with Align, the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic. Try Align today. And try new Align fast-acting biotic gummies. Help soothe occasional digestive upsets in as little as 7 days.
The Weather Channel and its climate team at Pattern are connecting you every day to the most fascinating stories impacting our planet. If it's out there, it's in here. The Weather Channel.
Welcome back to our ongoing coverage of Ida and the tornado threat. There's a new tornado warning for Wayne County in Mississippi, and this is radar indicated, now moving off to the northeast. We're looking at a circulation showing up right in there along Route 63, and that is going to be coming towards Waynesboro, so heads up on that. That'll be getting into Waynesboro at about 3:06 or so, and then West King at 3:16, possible tornado coming your way. Then farther to the east, an ongoing warning for Pike County. There was actually a tornado reported with this storm. Right now, we're just looking at an area of a shear, kind of a broad shear line here, and that is moving generally up towards Route 82 west of Union Springs. Well, we want to get out now to Justin Michaels. He's been reporting on the storm in Gulfport, and just in a very large area of winds, even though you were really long way from the core of the storm, the beaches got quite a workout there yesterday.
Yeah, they certainly did, and in fact, they're trying to reverse that right now. MDOT and also municipal crews working very hard, front-end loaders, also enormous dump trucks to get those roads, especially Highway 90 that goes right along the Gulf Coast here, get it cleaned up because it is filled with sand. Basically, it's for as far up and down as you can drive. There's beach. Part of that beach is now on Highway 90, especially the eastbound lanes. So they're working hard to clean it up. Environmentally, they can't put that sand back on the beach because of fuels and chemicals that are on the road. So that is going to have to be disposed of in a different way. It will never end up back on the beach. But yesterday, as we were talking about, and you can see here the video yesterday of the storm surge flooding that was happening. This is what brought all that sand in. Ida coming through all throughout the course of the day yesterday and last night, pushing all that Gulf water onshore. At one point, there was a 7 to 11 foot storm surge warning. Luckily, that did not happen here. And in fact, Gulfport, Mississippi is faring pretty well today. We talked to the director of public works about a half hour, 45 minutes ago here on the Weather Channel, and they are counting their blessings right now because of how well Gulfport fared. There are still some roads closed. There are still some things that need to be cleaned up, but for the most part, the bulk of the damage is certainly, Carl, to the friends over there in Louisiana, and people here in Mississippi are feeling for them, and you have to believe resources will come from state to state in mutual aid because that part of the country right now is really hurting, Carl.
Yeah, really tough day there across southeastern Louisiana. Thank you so much, Justin. And it continues to be a scary storm. We got a tornado earlier today in southern Alabama, just north of Mobile, near Saraland. Take a look at some of the reports here. There were several of them from Saraland on northward. An 18-wheeler actually flipped in a parking lot. The driver was injured and taken to the hospital. Also, a tree through a house on Ellison Avenue in Creola, and a lot of reports of trees down in that area. So a very serious tornado coming up and across that I-65 corridor earlier today. Well, that threat is continuing. When we look at the larger picture, we see the circulation around the tropical storm, and then this little dry slot right there where some slightly drier air is coming in. And with that, we are getting some sunshine, and with that sunshine, slightly warmer temperatures. So that is increasing the instability. And in fact, we have a model of the instability showing you how it is going to evolve over the next several hours. And it's just going to scoot a little farther eastward across parts of Mississippi and Alabama in the very areas where we've got low-level wind shear. Those winds in blue there are coming out of the south at 50 miles per hour. That's at 5,000 feet. So a really big increase in wind speed as you go from the surface up to 5,000 feet, and that creates spin. And so when you get thunderstorms in that environment, you certainly can get tornadoes, and that's why that tornado watch is out for parts of southern Alabama and Mississippi and northwest Florida going until 4 o'clock this afternoon. So that's one of the big things that we are watching. The other big thing that we're looking at, Jeff, is that flood threat and a flash flood emergency issued within the last couple of hours in southern Mississippi.
Yes, extreme southeast Mississippi, actually just west of the Mobile area, and we'll show that to you in just a moment. Let's first of all show you how much rain has fallen across this area, and it is amazing to see when you get a tropical system coming in. I'm going to circle this area here, just how much rain fell. When you look at some of these white areas, it's a little hard to see, but the Doppler radar pretty much compiles and estimates how much rain has fallen. That's getting up to the 20-inch category there. I mean, that is just incredible amounts of rain, and no surprise at all. Carl just mentioned the flash flood emergency. That's that little pinkish or purplish box that you see down there that I've just circled just west of Mobile there in extreme southern parts of Mississippi. Again, fortunately, the heaviest rain has moved east of there, but so much rain fell that we were talking about maybe 9-10 inches of rain in a short period of time, just a few hours, and that caused some flooding there. But you can see the main thrust of the rain is coming up in two main bands here off the Gulf of Mexico, and it's within those bands we're getting the tornado warnings, but also the potential for some flash flooding and the flash flood threat. That is hard to say. It continues across parts of Alabama and northeast Mississippi as we head on through the rest of today, and then moves a bit farther north as we head through the day tomorrow, particularly into Tennessee, an area that definitely doesn't need any wet weather because of what happened in Waverly just about a week or so ago. We'll keep you updated on the flood threat and the severe weather threat as Ida continues to move inland.
Turn your passion into a paycheck. Start your business and keep it running with LegalZoom. LegalZoom, let's make it official.
I do anything for you, dear. Anything, anything, anything for you.
Hi folks, Joe Namath here with a new message about your Medicare benefits. You may be entitled to transportation, meals, and expanded coverage for dental work that includes extractions, fillings, and dentures, all at no additional cost. Plus, depending on your zip code, you may be entitled to the Medicare benefit that adds money to your Social Security check every single month. Call and get everything you deserve. Call now. It's free.
I'm on a fixed income, so I called to get money added to my Social Security check. They helped me so much.
I called to save money on co-pays, get prescriptions, transportation, and my dental work covered. I don't have to spend.
Millions the Medicare coverage helpline, and you can too. Call now. It's free.
Call 1-800-346-4800. That's 1-800-346-4800 now.
Managing type 2 diabetes?
On it.
On it.
On it with Jardiance.
They're 22 million prescriptions strong. Meet the people who are managing type 2 diabetes and heart risk with Jardiance. Jardiance is a once-daily pill that can reduce the risk of cardiovascular death for adults who also have known heart disease, so it could help save your life from a heart attack or stroke. And Jardiance lowers A1C.
Jardiance can cause serious side effects including dehydration, genital yeast or urinary tract infections, and sudden kidney problems. Ketoacidosis is a serious side effect that may be fatal. A rare but life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this bacterial infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. And don't take it if you're on dialysis or have severe kidney problems. Taking Jardiance with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
Lower A1C and lower risk of a fatal heart attack? Yep, they're on it with Jardiance. Ask your doctor about.
Welcome to the new tomorrow, where it's not enough to do it alone, and working together means going all in. To move forward takes a different kind of technology partner, one who's always in your corner and who understands that shared goals are the only ones that matter. And providing that kind of partnership is what we're built to do. Spectrum Enterprise.
From the marker for everything comes the pen for everything else. Introducing the smooth, bold, and vibrant Sharpie S-Gel. Sharpie S-Gel. The power of Sharpie, now in a gel pen.
To run a growing business is to be on a journey. And along the ride, you'll find many challenges. Your Dell Technologies advisor is here to help, so you can stop at nothing for your customers.
This Labor Day, celebrate hardworking heroes everywhere.
I said it once and I'll say it again. I love my job.
With a marathon of your favorite shows.
This business is blood, sweat, and tears.
Hot diggity!
Don't you want this job? Don't miss Working Hard Week, starting Labor Day, only on the Weather Channel.
A flash flood watch is in effect. Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, a stray shower or thunderstorm is possible early, mostly cloudy, low 74. Tuesday, mainly cloudy, high 86. Winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday night, cloudy, low 71. Winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
More than a foot of rainfall fell on LaPlace, Louisiana last night, leading to a terrifying night for families who weren't able to leave before Ida arrived. Listen to this mother describe the water rising around her family.
Last night was rough. We saw slow water coming in under the door, and then it progressively just got, I was mopping, and then it just progressively got worse till it was ankles, knees, almost chest level. So we just put the dogs on the counters, and then we climbed into the attic. It was not easy at all. It's really bad. It's knee high. And the further you come out this way, because the water's going back towards the lake. So the water's getting higher as you go that way.
Wow, some really terrifying moments, I'm sure, last night as Ida was very slowly coming in. And it wasn't just the rain, it was the east wind blowing Lake Pontchartrain into Laplace as well. And all that rain, all that tropical moisture, and we see this a lot, will continue on a trek toward the northeast. Now, I don't want to let people in Philly or DC or Pittsburgh think that they're going to get 20 inches of rain or maybe even a foot, but you're going to get enough that there are flash flood watches that have been issued all across this region from Tennessee all the way up into parts of Pennsylvania and New Jersey. This area has already seen a fair amount of rain in the last week or so. Some areas getting a lot of rain, and so there is some saturation we're talking about, and there is some high terrain. You get some very deep valleys and gullies, and you get the water rushing off into that. If too much falls at one time, of course, that's going to cause some flash flooding. So flash flood may be likely. We'll probably get some warnings in Tennessee, maybe even North Georgia, western North Carolina, parts of Kentucky, and even up into West Virginia. So as we time it all out here a little bit, there you can see as we head through the day on Tuesday, this is by 8 p.m., there's the center of what's left of Ida. It will continue to track northeast, but the rain will be well out ahead of that, pushing up through West Virginia into Pennsylvania as we head on into Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, then eventually pushing all the way on up here into parts of the northeast where the flooding potential will again be high. This is Wednesday now, midweek. We're still dealing with the remnants of Ida across parts of Pennsylvania, northern parts of Virginia, into Maryland, West Virginia, and even on up into parts of southern New England could see some of the rain from this before what's left of Ida finally clears the coast and pushes all the way off the coast. So we'll be dealing with this for quite some time. What they're still dealing with outside of New Orleans in Lafitte is flooding and maybe rescuing victims of flooding. Let's go to Jim Cantore. He has the latest from there.
Hey guys, we are out on one of these airboats to see, just how bad it is out here in Lafitte, and I got Ricky Templin with me, who's going to basically narrate where we're going and what we may find once we get in there. Hey, Ricky.
Well, great to be here with you too, and thanks for spreading the word what's taking place in our backyard here.
Yeah, I mean, apparently at early estimates, maybe 380 folks stayed behind with this thing?
Well, actually, a little bit more, about 425 stayed, about 108. Yeah, about 425 back here, as well as about 182 households.
And are they spread out? Are they all together? I mean, what do you?
No, it's all spread out. Right before the storm hit, our sheriff's department did a great job of going door to door and evaluating who was actually staying in the mandatory evacuation area.
So again, you may know differently because I'm just getting stuff here like you are.
Right.
27 rescued last night, 80 today, from what we understand. Do you have most people out that want to get out at this point?
Well, as of right now, we hope so. Right now with the waters that are so deep, we're trying to go house to house by those vessels, just like you and I are in one now, an airboat. Right. They're doing that with airboat, mud boats, pro drives, going door to door with those addresses that we actually had a survey done before the storm and knocking on doors or asking if anyone's home. But there's some areas that are hard to get to, or you might not be able to get to by boat, so we got to wait till hopefully the water start receding soon.
So how does the power outage situation and the 911 situation and even one of the cell services, a major cell service is down, how does that affect you? Are you thinking there may be people that you haven't heard from and they maybe want to talk to you today and get out of there?
Oh, most definitely. All cell towers in this area are down. We're even having trouble with communications. So naturally, we are assuming people are stuck in a house that can't communicate right now. We had a few people yesterday put on Facebook that they were stuck in a house and looking to be rescued.
Any idea of how much of Jefferson Parish is underwater?
Well, what's underwater right now in Jefferson Parish is the low-lying areas of Jefferson Parish outside the levee protective system.
Which is where we are.
It's just where we are. But there also is down here, it's called a tidal surge levee, which protects to about 7 feet of tidal surge. That levee last night was breached and compromised.
Right, and we remember talking about that on the air. Listen, Ricky, we're going to go to commercial break, but we'll obviously, if you're not going anywhere, neither am I, we'll come back and talk about this in a minute. We'll be right back, guys.
My dental health was